Hello everybody, this is Fish Gilroy. Today I am bringing you Puddle, main menu. That's right, it's the main menu version. I'm just kidding. Um, anyway, what is Puddle? This is what you're probably asking yourself. Puddle is it's kind of a tough one. It's manipulating liquid throughout a puzzle area, and it's very linear, but at the same time there's some shortcuts that in my opinion are the only way to beat the puzzle, because I can't beat them without it. I have beaten the game. It gets really easy, but then right around the sixth, fifth or sixth level, it gets exceedingly difficult. I spent 6 hours playing this game, and I think 4 of those hours must have been just, uh, you know, 4 missions maybe, like just repeatedly over and over and over again. You'll see what I mean when we get to it. I'm not really going for medals. I don't care very much. I'm not even sure what a particle bonus is, or bonus particles, but I do know that I have beat the game on normal, and then I'm playing this on extreme, and the only difference is you can't skip 4 levels, you can only skip 2 levels, which I think is kind of silly, because why would you want to skip a level? What's the point? Anyway, very simple ideal. A lot of people may think, oh, I'm tipping the screen because this camera moves. It's more so I'm moving the gel. So whenever you see anything, except for possibly one level that I will identify later, you're just moving the gel. And it's always best to keep it in a clump, and it's a better score if you do it faster and you do it with more liquid by the end. So anyway, we're using coffee, and we have no particularity, and there's a tip basically telling us what to do. So here we go. We're just going to tip this cup, and we go down. Right now we're coffee, so pay attention to what we become later and later, and then I'm not spoiling the game because you're probably watching this to appease me or see if you even want to buy it. Do I think you should buy it? It kind of depends. I don't know. I don't know you, and I don't know how good you are at games like this, but I mean, it gave me 6 hours of entertainment, so I mean, I got it for $5 on a sale. So if that's this is the kind of game that you like having to manipulate through obstacles within a very linear map and relatively loose handling, go for it. I'd wait for a sale of some sort, but naturally it's $10 or $9.99, and I got it on sale for $5.99. So it I think it paid off. I'm always on the lookout for puzzlers. It's not that big of a puzzle. A lot of times it's more, how can I manipulate my liquid better? What strategies can I use? So anyway, we have water because, as you saw in the last level, we went through a filter, and we evaporate on contact with fire. So we have to not touch fire. It doesn't evaporate if you move quickly. So this is another element that they'll teach you, is these buttons, and this comes in more so during the water and a little bit later when we're in the factory. So we just tilt the screen, move both those. And this one, if I recall correctly, we have to kind of move a bit hastily because we don't want to get stuck on these. And then these will actually melt us and we'll lose our liquid. If you see on the top left, we have a liquid meter, and that red bar is how little liquid we have left. And if we get below that bar of the little red line right there, if we get below that, it will end the game for us. So this part is a bit of a shortcut, and I'll show you how to do it. We have to wait for this thing to fall down, but what we're going to do is try to use this as a ramp and get a majority of our goo on top. And oh, there, yep, see, we kind of sacrificed a lot of our goo into that water, or into the fire, sorry. It's not really goo, it's water, but later on we become goo. So I've got that mindset. Um, and this level isn't particularly difficult by any means. It's more, oh, I fucked up and I just ran through it, and all I did was sacrifice all my water in the fire. You know, that's the kind of thing where it's like, oh, trial and error. Here we go now. We got to do this correct this time, and it's not it's not really difficult. It's more like, oh, well, how was I supposed to know? And then you come back and then you do it right the next time. And I'm not sure why I didn't hit that the last time, but anyway, I don't know how many puzzles I'm gonna do per video. This first video, I know I can get a lot of the puzzles done relatively quickly, so I'm not too worried about doing more than one. But as we get later on, puzzles get harder. They get a little more time involved to actually finish them. So I may limit it to 1 to 2 missions, depending on after I record, if I decide to edit, or if I know that something's taking a long time, I might cut out failed attempts just to try to show you the puzzle itself. And I know some of that's gonna be necessary in order to show some of the last stuff, because God forbid you have to watch me do some of the later missions. That took 4 fucking hours. I mean, okay, now this is one of those little things where it's not hard. It's just tricky, because if I had too much momentum, I'd have put myself in either the far left fire or the far right fire. Another thing you want to do is, once you get past those sort of difficult parts, you want to try to get all of your liquid together. You want to get all of it in a group. And see, the problem is I lost a great majority up top. So I'm going to try and get that back down. And then, okay, just hold that there. Hopefully come on, I can see you up there, girl. Come on. But, yeah, no, so I don't know how exactly I'm going to do this, and I think I just fucked myself. Yeah. That's okay. This is a learning sort of puzzle, and it teaches us, keep all of your fluid together or you're fucked. Yeah, later levels rather difficult from a standpoint of you have to do everything perfect. And a little bit of cheating where it's like, oh, you have more liquid than, average people? Well, that's a bad thing, because now you're too heavy to get across the puzzle. It's like fucking, so I have to sacrifice shit. It's kind of a silly notion, if you ask me. But then again, I suppose it's part of the puzzle aspect of this game. Finding means to do things. In the harder level, if we went up too high, it would just burn all over water. They'd have a fire thing up there. And so with this one, we just want to ease down. Easy. Easy. And then keep moving. There we go. Try to accumulate some of our water. Some levels you can honestly just breeze through, and it complements you for speed. You get shortcuts by doing that. Other times you'll have water particles, and you won't attain as much velocity as you'd like, because everything is just clumping together, and that can be difficult sometimes. I forgot to see what time we started, but we can beat this level. I'll upload a longer video. This is a very cute game. I do not play with the sound on. I do not know how it sounds. I do not know what kind of music it has. I'm sure it's relatively good, and I'm sure the music corresponds to different areas. And being this is such a graphically pretty game, I'm sure it's not half bad. I don't like sound, so I don't deal with it. Aesthetically, I think this game is great. I think the physics are, for the most part, consistent, if you will, and I like that. What I don't like is I'm really, really close to the screen, and that I don't like not being able to see a little bit more of the puzzle. I understand that this is part of it, having to adjust and repetition, is a big part of it. I just wish I could see more. Like down there, I know that's there. I just wish I knew that a little earlier, so I could have, planned to do this sooner. You know what I'm saying? Just it'd be nice. Um, from a puzzle aspect, I don't think it's that difficult. There may be a few times where it's like, oh, this is difficult because you have to do this right, and it's like, well, that's not hard. You just sort of have to figure out how to do it the right way the first time. Otherwise, you could get in a situation where you're like, I don't know what the game's asking me. It's not helping me. There are these signs, and I don't know what these signs mean. Oh, this is one of those fucking levels up. Mm-hmm. Come on, sweetheart. Good girl. There we go. And bring that down. Bring that down. Handling isn't bad for water, at least. I do enjoy it. I enjoy this game. It's relaxing in a sense, and at the same time, it can be frustrating when you get really close to the end and then you just throw all your water into a fire, and it's like, fuck, I did not mean to do that. It says don't lose control in the slope, which probably means slow the fuck down. Let's not listen to it, see what happens. That's what happens. But since this is just heated walls, not necessarily fire, we are okay. And then that happens, and that is a bitch. But we've got some water left. A lot of the later missions, you'll find that fewer water is easier to control, it's easier to maintain, and you'll be finishing a lot of stuff with probably a relatively good speed, but less water. Right now, this is a good amount. This is what I would play most missions on. Let me tilt. Right? I'm going to lose some particles here, and that's going to piss me off, but I think I'm going to be okay. There we go. There's our exit. What else can I talk about this game? Fuck. Burn everything I wanted to say about it on the first episode. God, this is actually the last episode of this chapter, so I'll probably end this video after this one. Don't know what's going on. Oh no, we lost. You're going left. You're fucked. You're going left. You can't change that. God damn. Maybe I'll cut a lot of this out. I don't know. Because this is just... Who wants to watch this shit? Jesus Christ. That should do it. That's a good thing. So anyway, we're going to see a little cutscene. No, you did bad. I'm not proud of you. It's like, I don't care. We'll watch the cutscene, and then we will end the video there. Thank you for watching. I hope I didn't stutter on too long. And we will become liquid weed killer. Sodium chlorate and copper oxide. And we explode if we hit the ground. When next mission, we're going to have to activate these fire alarms. Not difficult. Not really, but it's gay because it slides on the pan. You'll see. You'll see when I get there. Goodbye.